Hi, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Motivational Moments. I'm so happy that you could join me, and as the new members are coming in and joining, which is wonderful, my new friends, thank you very much. I wanted to explain basically how this works every week. This is pretty much of a intuitive, organic, 5 to 10 minute presentation experience that I get to share with you every Wednesday at noon, unless it changes, which it does sometimes. Anyway, this is a time where, for me, being a professional speaker and used to, having a script and being on stage, this is a wonderful outlet to be able to chat with you, to be totally myself, to not be rehearsed. I'd say wing it, but I don't think that's exactly the right word. I just feel like I want to be an intuitive channel to give you some information that either I have learned, I have researched, or I have experienced. And how this works is usually the morning of, I think about the topic, or maybe the night before. Then I do a little bit of research to see what I can find online, just to get some background or maybe a couple quotes or statistics, and then I speak from my own personal experience. So that's what you're doing by listening today. And it's only 5 or 10 minutes. Hopefully it's uplifting and that you learn a few tips or techniques. And afterwards, you're more than welcome and encouraged to share your own experiences, because we all learn from each other. And remember, we are a work in progress. I think the biggest obstacle that us women face is that we're always trying to be perfect, right? We want to do things the best way possible. We want to help others. We want to nurture. But what I'm finding, the older I get, is that we need to take better care of ourselves. We need to prioritize self-care. I learned that a lot from a friend who is my coach and has been for the past 6 years, Jen August. She's amazing. But she talks about how important self-care is. And then when you're planning, whether it's your day, your month, your year, your minute, you keep self-care up front. You have a plan, what you're going to do to take care of yourself. Even if it's a quick nap, it's a meditation, it's a thought process. We have to incorporate that into our lives, because if we don't, we're overgiving or we're overextending ourselves. So I've learned that from her. And one of the other things that she teaches, which I think is so cute, she said it's okay to be a burrito for a day. Wrap yourself up like a burrito. You could wrap yourself up in a blanket and just chill out. You could call it your burrito moment, or your day, or your hour. Wow. She gives you permission to do that, to stop, and it's okay. And the reason why I wanted to cover a little bit more about depression during the holidays is because what I've researched is that, believe it or not, and I'm going to get the exact quote here. This is from the National Association of Mental Illness. I hate that name, mental illness. It just sounds so creepy. I mean, it seems like most of us have some form, shape, or a little teeny bit of mental issues, because I think we're overgivers and we spend so much time taking care of others. But anyway, the organization, NAMI, said that 64% of the participants with mental illness expressed that the holidays made their symptoms worse. 64%. And the reason that is because there's so much added pressure of the holidays. There's more to think about. There's more to do. There's Christmas shopping. There's making meals. There's family. There's friends. There's work parties. There's all kinds of things that maybe other times during the year we don't have to think about and we don't have to deal with. So there's an added pressure. And when you do have experiences with depression or anxiety, as I do, we have to be extra careful. And there's ways to do it. And one of the ways is to make sure that you feel comfortable reaching out. Either you're reaching out to an organization like NAMI, a helpline, a certain friend, a certain family member, your pastor, whoever it is, you need to kind of have a lifeline to be able to check in and say, hey, you know, I'm feeling this way. I'm overwhelmed. Can you help me? Let's talk about it. So I think that's really, really important during the holidays. And some of the techniques that I do for myself, because I can get in that downward spiral, and as all of you know, I'm a very positive person and always have been, but there's times that I'm not, and I've got to work really, really hard of getting myself back to that level. Some of the things that I do, number one, is I try to plan ahead as best as possible. That means, like, whatever the task is, I set a goal, I set a time frame in my calendar, and I just focus on that task until it's done, if I can. And I try to do that like Christmas cards. Okay, you know what? This day, this time, I'm going to focus on my Christmas cards. Then maybe the next day, I'm going to focus on Christmas shopping, and I'm going to do it between 9 and 11, or whatever it is that you need to schedule, whether it's decorating your tree or cooking. Because I think that what happens, and I know this happens to me, is that we become too scattered. Wow, you know, I'm going to do 10 cards today, or I'm going to decorate just a few ornaments, or I'm going to go Christmas shopping, but I'm not going to get it all done. Let me just buy a few gifts. And when we tend to drag things out like that, it makes it more stressful. I find that if I can finish a task and put it behind me, I get rid of a little bit more of that overwhelm or that stress that can be overwhelming and holding me back from doing other things. We all know that during the holidays, there's going to be situations with family or friends that can be more stressful or uncomfortable. So keep that in mind. Know it's normal. Families all have their own situations or issues to deal with. So you may want to, first of all, get yourself psyched up before you are entering a situation that you think is going to be stressful. But also maybe limit the amount of time that you spend with people or in situations that can be overwhelming or stressful, if you can. Limit the time. Make sure you do a lot of self-care before and after an event. And I think it's just monitoring your activity, making sure you're getting enough exercise. You're taking if you're on medication, you take your medication on time, and you don't forget to take it or get so overwhelmed that you forget about it. So there's a lot of things that we can do to help control how we feel and how we react. It may not be perfect, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but as long as we're in the process, I think we will feel a lot better. One of the other things I've learned is that there's so much power in the art of giving. I have done more giving this year than I think I have in a long time, whether it's financial, whether it's of my time, whether it's just writing note cards to people that I care about. I just feel that the more I help others, the better I feel, and I think you will too. Also, there's a habit of, I think a lot of us tend to compare ourselves to others. We say, well, wow, how come this person seems to have everything figured out? And how come this person doesn't have the same kind of stress that I'm going through? Or people seem, on the outside to be more perfect than we are. Well, you know what? Stop comparing. The only thing you can compare is yourself. Are you better today than you were yesterday? That's all that matters. How are you handling things better than you did before? What action steps are you taking? Don't worry about everybody else. Don't worry about what they're doing, how they're doing. It doesn't matter. Be grateful that you're doing what you're doing and that you're moving forward, and be happy for other people that they are able to do more and to have more and to appreciate more. Good for them. Just be the best person you can. It's difficult sometimes, and especially during the holidays when there are so many what I call moving parts. And when there are more moving parts, there's just more things to handle. That's just the way it is. There's a book, I haven't bought it, but I've seen it online, and it's called Unstoppable, and the author is Ben Angel, and it's also called Dismantling Depression. And I thought that was kind of an interesting title, and he talks about the different tips covering the trigger points of depression and how those trigger points can be minimized or sometimes eliminated. So we just have to be more conscious and figure out what we can do to make ourselves feel better and to do better. So that being said, I just wanted to share those ideas with you, some tips and techniques that I use and experience that helps me get better at handling overwhelm and anxiety, and trying to do the best I can for me, my family, my coworkers, and my friends. So have a fabulous holiday. I'll talk to you next week. And let me know if you have any other suggestions in overcoming anxiety, depression, or just kind of maybe the blues. So take care. Have a great week, and I'll talk to you on Wednesday. Bye.